under the spotlight as lawmakers debated their failed extradition. A UAE court dismissed South Africa's extradition application in February, but Lamola was only informed of the decision a month later. The extradition dismissal is blamed on a technicality of a cancelled arrest warrant.
A paper or a document that is missing. As honorable members are saying that there was a defective, cancelled warrant of arrest. The prosecuting authority here in South Africa is duty bound to say to the requesting state, there is this document that is missing, we are unable to process your matter, please bring that document. And this is in line with the convention. You don't shock the requested state with the outcome of the court.
Insists the UAE was bound by the extradition treaty to consult with South Africa before the matter was thrown out of court. He goes on to say that country was also obliged to prosecute the Guptas for money laundering.
Despite the fact that the judgment in the UAE has said that they've got competent jurisdiction. So in line with this agreement, it means they are obliged to prosecute on a charge of money laundering. But they've been let loose and released without them being charged, without respecting the content of this bilateral agreement, Article 5. So where is the incompetency of the South African government?
However, some opposition parties say incompetence on the part of South Africa is to blame.
Besides details of the state-to-state engagement or non-engagement behind the scenes, we know very little. Given the failure in which South Africa was an applicant in a UAE court, we have questions about whether we consulted the right people in the UAE.
The inability to secure the extradition of the Gupta brothers raises questions about the effectiveness of diplomatic engagement and the extent to which political factors influence the outcome of the case.
Technical mistakes in the bungling of this extradition is a clear indication that government is sleeping at the wheel and tripping from one failure to another.
The UAE refused our request because of a number of foolish administrative and legal mistakes from our side. This was a ruling made by a court in that country.
This failed extradition of the Gupta brothers is once again a sign of the incompetence, but also the lack of consequences for those who transgress.
The NPA indicated that all the boxes were ticked. One has to ask the question, is this incompetence or is it deliberate?
South Africa is committed to upholding these principles and therefore cannot interfere with legal processes of UAE. The failure to extradite persons implicated in corruption has nothing to do with the government's negligence or lack of will.
Lamola maintains that South Africa is committed to extradite the Guptas to come and account for their alleged corruption. Ulelani Philip, SABC News, Parliament.